All right, so I'm gonna try this again, guys. Let's see. I am sorry for being late. I was on. It said I was on, but the wife just told me that nobody could see me. So hopefully we got this right. Welcome back. Well, I'm saying welcome back. I was here. So it is Friday night. Let's see if y'all can see me. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. It's one of those nights. Okay, so there we go. We got Tiff here. All right. So I am sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. I was on and I don't know what happened, but I am now. There we go. Toya was like, hey, I've been gone for a couple of shows and y'all just canceled it. No, Toya, we ain't canceled nothing. Nothing. What's going on, guys? Oh, all right. Y'all can see me now. I was sitting here, I'm like, where everybody at? I'm just talking. I was in the sunken place for a minute. I
Hey
was sitting there
guys.
like, I ain't even gonna front. I was like, nobody? I was like, how is nobody on tonight? I was like, it's Friday night.
Not,
Nobody? Even
not
my wife?
even not even your wife.
I was like, not even my wife came on. I was like, I thought somebody was spiraling the cup. I think that's it. I was about to fall back into the sunken place, but I'm just saying. What's up, guys? Hey, Michelle. Hey, Toya. Hey, A Fox. Oh,
Hey
yes.
Amy,
All
I
right.
hope you
Hey,
feel better.
Aja. All right. Hey, Amy. Okay, so yeah, now we go. Now the folks are showing up. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, guys. Listen, welcome to Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. Mondays are replay days. I am live Wednesday and Friday. And on Fridays, I get the wife to join me in whatever wig she grabs out of the closet and joins us. Y'all should see what's going on under there. I should get her to come on in the Cleo look from Set It Off. Really, that's when we're gonna have the real aggressive show. I'm gonna have her come in her non-wig look. Y'all gonna be like, so, but welcome, welcome. We see Tracy's coming in. All right, so again, I just want to say welcome again to Unapologetically Keith. I have no idea what happened. I literally saw it said live. I was sitting there, I'm just talking, didn't see nobody. So tonight we're gonna be talking about arguments, and we have a top 10 list, 10 tips to help avoid ugly arguments. So we're going to discuss that. But before we do that, we got a blessing to give away tonight. Now, I posted in the group that on Wednesday's show, Sister Pastor Sandy, she is a Braven client. She's in the Bible study group. I believe she's in this group as well. She doesn't come by as much because she got church stuff she got to do. But I did an interview with her the other day, and she wanted to bless one of the listeners. She wanted to bless one of the listeners. And so one of the things is, and I don't know if I can, yeah, I can do it here. Okay, so she wanted to bless one of the listeners. So she said, Brother KL, bless somebody on your show. And I said, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I put it out there and I said, if the folks who chime in, so we had three people chime in the group. So I'm going to turn the camera around and do the little drawing here. We have Michelle Green, Jamila Smith, and Tony Smith are the three people who are in. And yes, Toy, we're going to get right to the arguing in a second, but let's do this little blessing here. Let me try to turn the camera around a little bit. There we go. Oh, let me bring that down some. Got my light and everything. Okay, so you see the names right there. Okay, I'm going to spin the wheel. And the
That is
winner,
so cool.
there you go. And a winner is going to
I
get a
like
free
that.
book. Yes, we can do a lot more too. Trust me, I'm on top of my game. So what's going to happen is the winner is going to get a free copy of any one of my books. They just go to the website and simply pick out the book. It has been paid for by Pastor Sandy, and she wanted me to bless somebody from the group. So we have, and you had up until 7 o'clock. So I don't want to hear, oh, I wanted to get in. Stop that foolishness. You got to read the post in the group. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start today, and we're gonna see who wins. This goes pretty quick. Here we go. And the winner is, woo,
Woo!
Jamila Smith. Jamila Smith, wife of Ronell Smith. She has won the free book. She has won the free book. Now I got to figure out how to turn this around. All right, hold up. I can't. Okay, there we go. So Jamila Smith, wife of Ronell Smith, I'll reach out to her. Jamila Smith, you are the winner tonight. Congratulations. We will have other contests. Tiff has a big one if I can convince her to go with it. Yes, so she can go by the website. So if Jamila comes in, we will let her know. Shout out to Michelle and shout out to Tony. So let me just close that up there. There we go. Let me get back into the group. All right. So Jamila should be by tonight. She normally pops by later on. Hey, Kim. All right. So we are discussing arguments tonight. Whew. Now, here's the thing. Anybody in, you know what? Hold up. Allow me to introduce you to my lovely co-host, my lovely wife, Tiffany Braxton Velvet. Not that you need an introduction, but go ahead and tell the folks a little something about yourself, Russell Simmons.
Hello, everyone.
Wow, just keep it up, just hold back some, huh? Don't tell them everything, huh? Anyway, all right. So here's the thing: if you are in a relationship, or if you have good friends, or just arguments are going to happen because disagreements happen. Now, sometimes arguments can get very messy and they can become very ugly very quick. And so I called Tiff earlier and said, how about we discuss this? Hey, brother Jose's popped in. So she said, cool. So I looked it up, and I believe from Psychology Today, I believe it was, a Psych Today, I think is where I got the information from today. But we're going with 10 tips to help avoid ugly arguments. And as we do every time we're on, it goes down in the chat room. Please put your thoughts in the chat room. Please respect other people's thoughts. If you don't agree, that's okay. But we're going to be adults about it. We're going to be respectful about it. And again, always, Tiff and I hope that we can bring some value to you guys that are watching. So let's get this started, since I was already in the phantom zone and had no idea why my thing said live. And Toya hit me in the like, where you at? And I was like, all right, I'm getting there. Woo. All right. They guys like chasing a bus because you're late. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I better hurry up, about to catch the punch in the face. She said, see, I'm going to predict one of them is don't bring up the past. We will see. Put a pin in that one, Amy. Don't bring up the past. I'm going to write that down. I know, but I'm not going to say. I don't know if you're right or not. So let's see. All right. Here we go. Miss my adult time. Yeah, here we go. Listen, you the kitty cats.
Toya.
Yes, we did. And the kitty cats, all three of them. We find out Toya is the cat lady already. You too young to be the cat lady. All right, guys, y'all know how to do this. Let's get this started. Where's the number ones? Let's get this started. Let's go with the number one on the top 10 list of tips to help avoid ugly arguments. Let's put ones up in the chat room. Let's get this started. Let's get right into this tonight, because you know Tiff got a 45-minute expiration date. After 45 minutes, she's going to start leaning, the wig going to tilt to the side. We don't want that. And let me tell y'all how y'all know Tiff is fading. If you see her move to the back of the bed, right now she's at the front of the bed. If you see her change positions, that's how you know she's starting to fade right now. All right, here we go. Number one tip to help avoid ugly arguments. I'm saying, Amy, I got to call it out. We got Keisha's here too. Understand that anger itself is not destructive. It is okay to be angry. There's a vast difference between anger and rage. When someone is angry, they need to state their feelings. They do not break things or relationships. That is rageful behavior. So it is okay to be angry. That is not destructive. It is when you allow the anger to create destruction, it turns into rage. Now you're out of control, and now it's starting to go left very quickly.
So the funny thing is, when I read this one, it made me think about when I was growing up and listening to the adults in our lives, listening to my parents, listening to my friends' parents. And it was funny because as children, we were never allowed to be upset. Don't have an attitude. Don't be angry. And we weren't able to express those emotions. And I remember the very first time with my mom and really being upset about something, because you weren't allowed to be upset. You just had to take it with a smile and everything. And I remember her saying to me, and you have the nerve to have an attitude? And I was so mad. I said, you damn right I have an attitude.
Exactly. Listen, it is okay. It is
It was
okay
the
to be
first
angry.
time that
There
I
you go.
actually acknowledged it.
Amy says, agree. You can have your emotions, but no need to be the Hulk. Yes, of course.
That is
Michelle
true.
says, be angry and sin not. Yes. Let me tell you something, guys. And when I'm working with kids, I tell them this all the time. You have the right to be upset or angry, but you
Absolutely.
do not let it get away from you to where you start to destroy things or you start to hurt people or yourself. That is when it is out of control. So to avoid ugly arguments, stay away from raging. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to be angry, especially if something happened that really hurt you. Be upset, be angry, but here's the thing, don't let it turn into rage. Rage begets violence, and once it gets to that point, all bets is off. The police may show up, and now you may have cost yourself a whole lot more than you was ready to give up. Be angry, but be in control the best you can. And if you're not ready to be in control, leave.
But
Leave. Just get out that situation.
what I find, and this is from my own experience, is the rage tends to come when you hold in the anger for so long, and then it just explodes because you are tired of holding it in. And if no
Exactly.
one has taught you how to deal with that emotion, or the way they've taught you to deal with that emotion is not to have that emotion, what do you do?
Well, that's the problem. A lot of parents don't realize that they're damning their kids early to things later on. I think right here it says, "Yep, couldn't cuss your folks under your breath, and they catch you and it would get ugly." Yes, you would get that whipping if you let that slip out. Yes, Michelle. But Amy says it right too. We cannot tell kids their emotions don't count because to me it makes things worse later. No, you are 100% right. It does, Amy, and that's part of what I do in counseling is I tell a kid you have a right to be angry that your parents are separated. You have a right to be angry that you had to move. You have a right to be angry that you failed the test or whatever it is. It is when that anger, because anger is a secondary emotion. Something happened, you didn't like it, anger followed. You stubbed your toe, it hurt, anger followed. Anger is a secondary emotion, but it is an emotion that triggers so many other emotions that if we don't get it under control, it literally can burn through your house and burn things down because one decision can alter your life in anger. So it is very critical that we teach children that it is okay to be angry. You just don't lose your mind and slap me, or you don't lose your mind and burn something down. We we gonna talk. And like Toya said, when you're about to rage, walk away. Very true, Toya, but we have to teach what rage is. We have to teach what rage, we have to teach what can trigger rage. We also have to teach what can trigger anger so a kid knows how to walk that back or at least be able to, like I tell kids, even if you just got to breathe and whatever you got to do, if you got to squeeze your hands, whatever you want to do it to be able to get that emotion out, and then now let's have a conversation. And parents, please justify your children's feelings because if you don't and they suppress them, they can be let loose somewhere else and somebody can get seriously hurt. Let's see. Nika says that's so true. Michelle says a lot of kids get angry, but they have no control over it. New siblings move. Yes, so, but that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing is again, remember, anger, and I'm gonna say this again, I'll probably say it before the night is again. Anger is a secondary emotion. You're sad because you had to move. You're frustrated because you didn't win the game. Whatever it is. Anger then follows. And that's the same thing for adults too. Don't get it twisted. Somebody in your job says something you don't like. Oh, you were offended first, then the anger came. So remember, anger is a secondary emotion. It piggybacks off of something else, but it opens up the door to so many other things. And one of the things that I do is I sit and get people to let that go. Let's woo-saw. And woo-saw is breathe in through your nose. Come on, y'all can practice with me. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose. You gotta make that same face. Also, laughter is one of the best ways to release anger. I play and I act stupid all the time. It is very difficult for kids in my office to stay angry when I'm acting silly. I'm like, come on, join me. Hey, come on, Mr. B. I'm not trying to laugh. I'm trying to be angry. And it's very difficult. So all you got to do is get some kids. Lamar's too. Lamar's is tough because for the man, I'm like, ew, I'm out. All right, let's see what we got here. Toya says, what if you have one parent that allows the emotion, but another parent that hates crying emotion and tells them to get over it? Toya, that's a parent that has some issues. And unfortunately, that's a child that's going to have to deal with those issues because a parent was never taught how to deal with theirs. And sadly, hopefully that child will have somebody else in school or somebody else around them that can help. Because when you have a parent that's pouring poison into you, there's not too much that can be done until that child reaches somebody else who can help. Hopefully they'll have somebody like you, somebody like me, or somebody else in the school system or church or whatever, sports, that can help that. But if you have, and listen, we have a lot of fathers that are like, suck it up, don't you cry, it can affect the child
Mothers
later on.
too. Mothers
Yeah,
too.
mothers too, mothers too, mothers too. Kim said, I grew up in a household where the dozens was every minute occasion, and if you started crying, that was like blood to a piranha. Yes, Kim, I know about homes like that. And that's why Kim is so sharp with it. So if you say something, you getting cut back quickly from Kim. So we see where it was birthed at, Kim. But no, I understand, Lord Jesus. Yes, I've seen both. And Kim, I've been in homes like that. Like Tiff can tell you, everybody can be all upset, and I'm gonna tell a joke. Like I'm gonna start some mess. Like
Mm-hmm.
I play the dozens, even if you don't want to play, you gonna play. I'm gonna talk some trash. I talk trash at a funeral. I'm like, what if he just jumped up right now? Yee!
You don't want to sit next to Keith at a funeral. You don't want to. Mm-mm.
For me, it was just the. We got to finish that, Anika. For me, it was just the what? Don't tell on me. All right, Kim. I'll let them find out on their own, Kim. And I ain't really like what you wrote in the group. Oh, really? Amy said, I'm the same way. I was so sarcastic just to break the ice. There you go. All right, guys. All right, moving on to number 2. Oh, I was going to mention funeral. Listen, there you go. It was the opposite. We were told we should not tease each other. Yeah, I feel you, Anika. And you know what? Some homes are like that where they just don't want to foster certain things. And I guess um everything starts with, again, how the family was raised, how your mother, father, or whoever was raising you was raised. Also, if they're old school or not, because if you have African parents, Caribbean parents, and certain down south parents, they have a certain mindset, certain belief. So a lot of it is based on how they were raised. But either way, certain emotions cannot be fostered, because if they are, they do have lasting and damaging prospects. And with anger, and again, I just don't want to get lost on number 1. Anger is okay. I'm telling all of you now, it is okay to be angry in your relationship. Do not let it become rage. Do not let it get away from you where the anger causes you to say or do something that's going to cost you big time when there's a time that you probably could have controlled it, okay? All right, let's move on to number 2, guys. Put a 2 up in the chat room. My friend's phone went off at a funeral. Don't push me because I'm close. I like that. I like that. That's it. Listen, I tell jokes at the funeral because that's how I grieve, but not everybody understands that. And it does offend some folks. They be looking at me like, why are you having so much fun? Because that person's dead and ain't coming back. What's wrong with you? But
You so disrespectful. How you laughing at a funeral?
okay, they dead. Hey, Kim. Hey, Terry. I think Terry popped in too. And anybody else that we might have that's new to the group, welcome, welcome, welcome. It goes down in the chat room. Please don't be nervous to pop in and give your thoughts in the chat room. And what you see, if you're wondering what those numbers are, it is because I asked folks to put numbers up as we move on to the next one. It also helps me to remember what number we're on when I ask folks which one, in case I get to running off with the mouth. All right, let's see. Hey, Terry. Let's see. Kim said this came down for the grandparents, parents, now us, and our children in the fest. We're all get together, cousin. Without question, kid. Listen, you should come by. If you was ever in my house, my ghetto ass family, they fighting on at Thanksgiving. So you know anything can jump off at my house the way my family come up.
My house
Straight
too.
hood. There
Mm-hmm.
you go. All right, so we got a bunch of number 2s, and we're going to move on. All right, here we go. Number 2. And this is the top 10 tips to help avoid ugly arguments, guys. All right, number 2, talk about your feelings before you get angry. When you and your partner can approach the situation as it happens and deal with it in a safe way, it may not get to the point of becoming an argument. Sometimes things just need to be verbalized, and most arguments can be avoided if your partner understands how you feel. Now, here's the thing. if you and your partner have that type of relationship. Your partner may not be the type to be able to deal with it at that moment. I would always say to anyone, if you can, try to put it on the table before it gets to anger. But sometimes anger has to happen because that might be the thing that actually pushes you into having a conversation because you're just so angry about it, Tiff.
I agree. And I think of us because a lot of times I don't bring up things because I don't want to be a nagging wife. So I try not to bring stuff up and I just deal with whatever is going on. But then when I don't bring it up, Keith thinks it doesn't happen. So,
Oh,
so come on, Keith. Come on. We've had these discussions. Come on.
for the
So,
sake of the show, I'm gonna let that rock because I would say so. I'm not gonna start tonight. That's
so
some
what,
bull bucky.
so what I started doing is when I see stuff happen, I take a picture of it and I send it to him. Don't I
I
send
don't
it
have a
to
problem
you?
with that, but
See,
okay,
because
so now hold on. So now when you don't send me a picture, it is because it didn't happen.
there are times that I don't send pictures, but now I started sending pictures so that way I can address the issue without getting angry and he knows that it occurred. Because if I don't address it, according to him, it didn't occur. And that's what makes me angry.
No photo, no photo, no proof. I ain't trying. Hold on. Let me just read these comments real quick. Amy says communication is key. Kim said I was at a funeral when I just lost my listening. Where'd it go? What's on my computer tonight? Actually, okay, I gotta read it here. Kim, let me see what Kim because I was reading what Kim wrote. Okay. Kim said it was at a funeral where I said sometimes you wish someone else was in the body. This guy I don't like showed up and his wife was sitting behind me, and I know you don't. You don't have to nag, just discuss it, Terry said. Very true. Toya said, I need to try that tip because I try not to be a nag. Okay. Wow, what happened to the picture? Oh, what really? No picture didn't. Yeah, that's right, Amy. No picture, no proof.
Exactly, Amy.
Hold on. All
Exactly.
right, wait. Let me shape that. Because here's the thing. Tiff is giving you one side, which she is very gifted at doing. Very gifted. Let me explain something to you. Because Tiff believes that her memory is super sharp. And then I'll say, Tiff, that didn't happen. And she will
Well, a
want to
picture's a
attempt.
thousand words. So
Anyway,
if I take a
anyway,
picture of it,
see how she cut me off, y'all? Because she know where I'm going. Look, you see how, and that's not even her style. So you see what's happening here. Tiff will say, now this is exactly what Tiff will say. Tiff will go, that didn't happen, that didn't happen. I go, Tiff, I'm telling you, my memory is sharp. You don't remember it. Then she'll go, I don't want to know that's not true. But then when we'll be talking, she'll be like, come on, you know how my memory is? I don't remember everything. I'm like, wait a minute. So your memory is fine over here, but not fine over here? Stop the lies. Stop playing.
well, with a
Therapist is a
picture, I
bad
don't need a
patient.
memory.
I'm a good patient. I just said, rifles taking a photo approaches the mental road, the road thing.
Exactly, Aja.
Listen, I agree with Tiff. You know what, y'all? See, I'm in a room full of women. I can't win. I agree with Tiff. I I agree with Tiff because they want proof, and when you send it, they say, "Well, no. I don't actually, Kim. I don't do that. See, because if she send proof, I go, all right, you got it. Because if she send proof,
He
I can't
does.
argue
He
with proof.
does.
I can't look. If you send me proof, if you go and I go, oh, word. I don't argue with proof. The problem that I have with, and Tiff and I don't argue that much, but here's the problem I have with Tiff. Tiff will argue that she remembers, and I go, Tiff, that's not what happened. And then I have a semi-photographical memory because I have ADD. Let me put that into it. That's why I'm always bouncing all over the place. So I will literally say to Tiff, I remember that. And Tiff will go, nah, didn't happen. But then I'll say something to her and she go, how you expect me to remember everything? You know, my brain, I can't remember everything. And I'm like, that's some straight BS, but it's okay. And I can't take a picture of that. I'm just
Amy,
she
you
has
see,
a
Amy
folder
said
for
she
it.
has a folder for it all.
No, that's only when she's working because she know how folks are. Yes, semi photographical is where I don't
Thank
remember
you, Kim.
everything.
Thank
You
you,
know,
Kim.
first of all, hold up. I got to look it up. Semi photographical is where you can remember pretty much all of it, not every detail. Photographical memory is when you can remember everything as it is. Now, Tiff, how many times have I walked into my office, looked around the room, and say something is missing or why did you move something? True or not true?
That's true.
Because I have a semi-photographical memory. I can remember how things are supposed to be or how it was when slightest things are moved. Because Tiff has a very bad habit, and I think she does it on purpose, of moving things around because she knows it drives me crazy. I would be like, "Where's this?" And
That
she'd be
is
like,
not
"I
true.
moved it here." Yes,
That
you
is
do.
not
Stop lying.
true.
Stop
I
lying. You
don't
do it on
come
purpose.
into your office, and I try not to come into your office. I try not to. But when I come into your office, it's not because I'm
Whoa,
moving
hold
stuff
up,
around.
hold up. I don't come into your office, but when I come into your office, listen here, Donald Trump. Yeah. Listen, hold up. What kind of
I
foolishness was
fixed
that?
it.
I don't.
I fixed it. I said I try not to come into your office.
You, Senator, did y'all hear this, Senator? Under oath, I don't come in his office, but when I come into his office, let's be honest, it's only when you want to remember. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's Tiff. All right, so let me reread this again because y'all might think we crazy. Talk about your feelings before you get angry. Listen, guys, it's very simple. If you can, if that's not your thing, and again, this is everything that we give is not for everybody. If you can have the conversation, because it is better to try to work it out before it gets to anger, only because, again, as I have said before, anger is a secondary emotion and can open up the doors to rage and to other things. You make your biggest mistakes when you are angry, and you cannot unring a bell. If you let something fly out your mouth when you are angry, it could destroy your relationship because it'll be very difficult for your partner to forget what you just said. And all the I'm sorries in the world may not fix if you let something come out your mouth because you're angry, borderline raging, and now something just came out. And that's why your mama, and that's why your penis is, and that's why your breast is. And that's why, and you like, so try. And ladies, don't look, anyway, you know, we gonna leave that alone. I'm just saying, cause y'all women cut a brother down. Whoo, y'all could be cold. So trust, do not let it come out your mouth if you are angry. You know, they always say hold off. And I know the Bible says don't go to bed enraged, don't go to bed angry. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Forgiveness, yes. Forgiveness, Terry, if you can get there. The problem with forgiveness is it all depends on how hurt the person is, and then we don't know how much time. Everybody needs a different amount of time for forgiveness, and you could really ruin a relationship with some very painful words. And I've talked to kids about this. Words from the wrong words from somebody you care about can hit just like a fist, and it
Mm-hmm.
can hurt just as bad as somebody punching you in the face. So you really want to be mindful of what we say to the people we claim to love, because some words can be super devastating from the wrong person. And we just want to try. You're going to make mistakes. We do. And forgiveness is part of the game, Terry. Of course, as Tiff and I, as members of the faith, we we're still running over tonight. Oh yeah, yeah. It's Friday. That's why I get Tiff on Friday. All right, so number three, guys. Number three, because like Amy got somewhere to go. Amy might be tired too. So number three, put number threes up in the chat room. And if you're just joining us again, when you hear me ask the numbers are to suggest that we move on. And you're watching Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. Glad to have all you guys here. So let's put unapologetically who? Yes, I call that everybody. Yeah. All right, let's go. We got threes up in the chat room. There we go. All right, number three. Ooh, this is a good one. Don't raise your voice. It's amazing how issues of hurt feelings or differences can be resolved with a whisper. I counsel, okay, yeah, it just talks about, this person talks about how they counsel, but I do agree with that. When you raise your voice, especially when you're saying something that you like or don't like, whatever, but when you raise your voice, especially when we're talking about in a negative situation, it can have a hard effect on a person that you're talking to, especially if it's something that tags them the wrong way. Raising your voice only makes it that much worse.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to raise your voice, and it is demeaning to the person that you claim to like or love that you raise your voice. You really shouldn't have to raise your voice in anyone. But in an argument, if you choose to raise your voice, it is very insulting. It is very insulting, and it is a form of verbal abuse. Now we do it, guys. We all listen. We raise our voice, especially when angry. And you're going to see that a lot of this is all connected back to anger. We want to avoid anger getting to the wheel. And if we raise our voice and take it there, Latoya said, I'm naturally loud. Toya, there's a difference of being naturally loud too. there's a bigger difference, but I do understand, guys. Tiff, you want to add anything to that, or are you good with that one?
What I was gonna say, because I don't try to hide the fact that I grew up in a dysfunctional family, and there was a lot of arguing going on
Yeah, yeah,
from everyone, and I made a promise to myself that when I got older and I had my own family, that there were certain things that I wasn't going to do. So even with Keith and I, we have our disagreements. We don't really argue, and we definitely don't raise our voice. And to the
yeah.
point that there are times that if Keith and I are having a passionate discussion, we're not even arguing. If we're having a passionate discussion and our voices get louder, KL will say, "Why are you arguing?" Because she's not used to us raising our voices. So it's just a
No, I'm
matter.
reading. I'm reading Kim. Keep going. I'm just reading Kim's response. I'll give it in a second. Go ahead.
So with her, if we elevate our voices to her, that's argument. She doesn't understand. No, we're just having a conversation. We're
Yeah,
not
she's not.
actually
Yeah,
arguing.
she's not
So
used
I'm
to it. She's not
she's
used to
not
us
used to it at
speaking
all.
loud. Yeah, yeah. She'll say, "Why are you arguing?" We go, "No, we just talking." But you got to be. And I just talked about that today when I posted. I said you got to be mindful of what you say around children. Kim said, "My first response is, are you effing kidding me?" Abso-effing-lutely, Kim.
Kim, I used your word the other day. I can't remember what was going on, but Keith and I was talking and I used your word.
Absolutely. But yes, if that's your thing, guys, listen, be who you're going to be. Just keep in mind the things that can cause a problem for you and your partner. So again, anger is a problem. Yelling is a problem. You want to be able to talk, and not so much in a whisper, but you don't want to add energy to a fire. Here's what I want you to think about in an argument, and I deal with this in schools where I used to, and I still deal with it now. Anger is like a flame. You don't bring gas to a flame. So if you bring your anger, you're bringing gas. If you bring your loud noise, you're bringing gas. So what happens is when somebody's getting loud, you get softer. When I'm dealing with kids, when I used to deal with kids in school and and I'd be like, "Come on, what's the problem? Why are you?" And because if you got to do this and try to listen, it actually quells the fire. You can't do both. Anger starts to shut parts of the brain off. So when you can get a kid thinking, when you start to bring it down and go, "Why are you so upset? Why are you?" And the kid goes, "What?" Now the anger starts to dissipate because they're trying to get the listen. They're trying to figure it out. Use that at home too when your children are upset. Start to lower your voice. Also, get closer and try to put your hands where they can't see. If it's especially if it's a brother and sister fighting, put your hands where the only focus is on you, and then lower your voice. And then what happens is what that does, it actually gives the person a chance to, because you're not adding energy to the fire. Anger burns the body up. It's hard to sustain anger. So when you give a child a chance, especially with adults, give them a chance to bring that down. Now you can have a conversation, but don't bring gas to the fire. Let's see. Amy says, sounds weird, but I do that to customers or people yelling at me. I love more. Of course, it causes because a person can't try to listen to you, Amy, and be angry at the same time. And now they can go back to being angry, but now they've had to switch to try to figure out what did she say, and then it starts to slowly come down, and you go from there. So again, guys, don't raise your voice. It's not necessary. If you got to start yelling and screaming to try to get your point across, come back to it, because the person that now is, if they're trying to match you, it's not going to work. And now you're in an all-out yelling session. All you're going to do is get a headache or give yourself a heart attack or a stroke. You don't want to do that. Let's see. I just says I've done with my clients when they are angry. Very true. That's the way, especially when Tiff yells at me every day, all day. I'm glad she yelled at you because she ain't bringing that here in this house, Amy. So listen, y'all hold that at work. She ain't bringing that home. All right,
Amy
guys,
knows
very good.
she has not heard me yell at all. Not
She
at
might need to
all.
start yelling and slapping some people at work. All right, number 4, guys. Here we go. Doing pretty good. Let's go. Number 4. Let's move on to the 4th one on the top 10 list of things that help you avoid ugly arguments. Let's go to number 4. Throw your number 4s up. And I want to thank everybody for being here. So put your number 4s in the chat room. We are at number 4. 2 people yelling sound. Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, definitely sounds like Charlie Brown. Very true. I'm not coming in close, arm's length. I'm popping.
Kim's so violent.
Kim, you need a hug, Kim. You need
Oh,
a hug,
Kim is
Kim. Kim
violent.
said, I ain't coming close. You might get. Come here, baby. Let me talk to you. Ooh. All
Hey,
right.
love.
Hey, there you go. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, yeah. Terry said hi. You see it?
Saw it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Number 4. Number 4. All right. Don't threaten your relationship, and don't take every argument as a threat to your relationship. This type of emotional blackmail puts the other partner in panic or flight or flight mode. Now, while you're telling them you want to leave, they be making plans to find a roommate. Now, here's the thing, guys. Emotional blackmail is wicked because you can't threaten to leave somebody or just threaten to just end the relationship because you're angry. Those petty threats turn into a person saying, well, let me break this off first. Before they break my heart, I'm going to break theirs. Because you don't play those games, because that's a dangerous game of chicken. Dangerous game. And it doesn't solve anything. It really doesn't. Okay? So if you're that unhappy,
like, okay.
then you come home and everything is gone like Boomerang. He come home and she done moved out. First of all, it never, emotional blackmail is never a positive thing. Never say, if you give me this, then I'll give you this, or if you don't stop, I'm just gonna walk away from this. Don't do that. Your relationship is supposed to mean more to you than that. Don't make threats. Threats is not necessary, especially if you're adults. Now with children, we have to try to get them to understand. Don't do that. Don't threaten your brother. Don't threaten your sister. You got to have that conversation. But with adults, don't threaten the relationship, because then it really makes one wonder, why are y'all in the relationship? What's the quid pro quo? So I got to give you to get. It's supposed to be a mutual thing. There's nothing to be gained there, guys. So, and Tiff, you got anything you want to add to that? Or are we good on that one?
No, we're good on that one.
All right, so number 5, guys, moving on. And again, I want to thank all y'all for being here. All right, let's go. Number 5. Ooh, okay, I got to read this one. That's interesting. All right, let's go to number 5. I want to hear y'all thoughts on this one. I want to hear what Tiff thinks about this one. All right, number 5. Can I get a number 5 in the chat room? Where y'all at? Everybody watching TV? Oh, you know what? What was that? That thing I watched on What's Name was pretty good today. Thank you, Terry. There we got at least one number 5. All right, don't stockpile. This is where you bring up. Here we go, Amy. You were right, Amy. Number 5, don't stockpile. This is where you bring up issues from the past to use as a hammer against whatever problem your partner has asked for help with. Deal with the issue first, and if you really have unresolved feelings from past problems, talk about them at another time. Do not bring up the past. Don't stockpile. Don't say. And another thing, that's why last month. No. A certain person that I happen to be married to.
First of all,
when they say first of all, you know it's coming. Here it comes.
First of all, you see the head? First of all, I don't agree with number 5. I don't agree. And I'm going to explain why I don't agree with number 5.
Please do.
If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, how the heck am I not supposed to bring it up?
Thank you, Terry. If the past was not resolved, it will be a problem. And you're right, Tiff. And Kim says we keep freezing. I don't know. That's a Facebook thing, because we're both on our phones, not on the computer. So I'm not sure what's going on there, Kim. So rock out with us. I feel what you're saying, but I think what has to happen is, yes, I agree with you. You gotta fix that. But the question is that the problem that created the problem at the time of the argument? Meaning, If it is the same thing, okay, I got you. If it's a continuous thing, yes, you bring it up because it's connected, it's all connected. But you don't bring up other stuff when you're trying to deal with whatever. So if your partner's coming in late and that's what you're having a disagreement about, that's not now the time to talk about, yeah, but when I gave you money and
Thank
whatever,
you, Kim. That's why I
and
take pictures.
I and I said I don't have it when she take pictures, I ain't got a problem with it. But what I'm talking about is it doesn't help the situation when you bring up other unresolved things. You should have dealt with it, but if you didn't, okay, deal with the right now, right now. Once that's done, at another time, now we can sit down and deal with something that's not resolved, because you can't throw all that into the mix and then try to figure out when you're already upset about one other thing. No. If it's the same thing, that's different. Because then you can say, Keith, this has been 6, 7, 8 times. We need to talk about it because this is an attempt to resolve what's wrong. But the key is you have to really say to yourself, you have to really say to yourself, do I need to bring all that other stuff up? We need to fix this. It's called mindfulness therapy, meaning stay in the moment. Don't, not yesterday, not tomorrow, right here, right now, about whatever caused the issue, deal with that. Once that's dealt with, now you can say, hey, can we talk tomorrow? Sure. Now you sit down and say, hey, I have a problem with this, and this. Let's fix it. Communication is key because you have to know how to speak to each other. And I'm going to tell you something. When upset and angry, that's not the time to get into no long, drawn-out conversation about multiple things. Deal with what's causing the problem. Deal with what's causing either one of you to be frustrated. Johnny, what's going on, sir? Good to see you here tonight. And it's very important. Let's see. Amy says, yes. If I connected, I agree, but you mad at me that I didn't get you milk 4 years ago. That's if they mad about something from 4 years ago, I don't know what to tell you, because y'all should have brought that up a long time ago. Don't let it go that long. And I can't give you any set time on how long to get to something that's unresolved. But I would say this. I would say as soon as possible, as soon as y'all are ready to deal with it mutually. Because you can't solve a problem if your partner is not trying to deal with it. Yes, sir. Good to see you, brother. If your partner is not trying to deal with it right now, here's the thing. Let me just say this. If it is hurting you and it is pushing you to the point that it is really bothering you, then you do have to make a demand that your partner address something that is hurting you. Don't tuck that away. Don't file that away and allow yourself to be walking around hurt. That's when you squeeze the teeth. I'm not messing with Kim. Kim gonna do a whole webinar on how to just be angry and how to treat. I think I made my point, right? Yes. Yes, Kim. All right, moving on to number 6 before Kim slaps somebody just for slapping them. What, you moved? You stand there and let me slap you. All right, number 6. Ooh, what is number 6? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Okay. I don't really do. Oh, I'll let you tell me to. Number 6. Here we go. Thank you, Amy. No, it's okay, Kim. I love it myself. Don't avoid your anger. If you stuff your feelings, this we just talked about it, so we can almost glass by number 6, but we'll talk about it anyway. Don't avoid your anger. If you stuff your feelings long enough, you will explode and say or do things that you will regret. Anger does not diminish love. You can be angry with those you love. In fact, the ones that love us will hurt us the most.
I just want to say
Go ahead, baby.
that when people say, what was it? You will explode and say or do things that you will regret. And I
Yeah.
say this often. I've actually said this a couple of times this week. If I say something out of anger, I do not regret it. I'm not sorry. I'm not remorseful. I said it because I meant it. I thought long and hard about it. If it comes to, and that's the thing, I try not to say stuff out of anger. But if I say something out of anger, believe me, I thought about it and I meant it when it came out. And I'm not sorry and I don't regret it.
That's quite selfish. And the reason why is because I hear what you're saying, but that is quite selfish because you're not the one that's hurt. It's not about the person that's angry. It's about the person that had to receive what was the result of your anger. So when you say I don't care, basically, what comes out my mouth when I'm angry.
No, that's
Hold
not
on.
what I said. No, what I
Go ahead.
said is I take one thing is I'm very reserved with my anger. And the thing is, the reason why I don't try to say things when I'm angry is because whatever comes out, I'm not going to regret.
You may not regret it, but here's the funny thing is, and it's easier said than what happens at the time. Hey, what's up, T to the Y? And Anika agrees with you. The idea is when you're angry and you let something fly, I feel what you're saying. And you know me,
No, if I let
I'm
something fly, it was supposed to fly.
for
That's what I'm
you,
saying.
for
I
you,
hold
for you.
on. I hold back a lot.
I
But if I let
well,
something fly, it was supposed to be out there. And I'm
I
not going to
understand.
regret that it's out there.
I understand. And you know what the problem with that is, right? And you know why that is, right? Because instead of addressing certain things, you do what? We've had this
I hold it
conversation.
in. I hold it in.
Which, yeah, and that's the problem is you let it get to Chernobyl level when it don't have to get to that level. Because if you would deal with if see this is what happens when you marry to a therapist. I sit down and I tell her all the time and stop letting things get to the point that she's ready just to explode her
Thank
hands
you,
on
Aja.
somebody.
Because Aja said sometimes folks deserve that anger when I dish it because I'm like Tiffany. And it just is what it
Don't
is.
foster that. Don't
When you
foster
keep
that. Look,
stepping on
y'all
my
stop
feet,
fostering. Yo, first of all, hold on. Y'all stop fostering that. First of all, Anika and Aja, let me help y'all out. That's your problem because you should have dealt with it before it got to that point. Because that anger could cost you way more than you really needed to lose.
but let me ask
Hold
you
on.
something.
Yes.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Because we all know that one person in your life that no matter how rational you try to be with them, they are irrational. And
Then
you
leave them
keep
alone.
you and you
Leave
try.
them alone.
You try to leave them
Ain't no
alone.
such thing as try.
But
Ain't
Keith,
no
come
such
on
thing
now.
as try.
Come
You
on
either
now.
do or you don't. There is no
Keith.
such thing as try. Look, I've cut off family, and there
Hmm.
is no such thing as try. You either do or you don't. Now that the funny thing is people will cover themselves by saying I tried. No. You either did or you didn't. If you didn't, let's talk about why you didn't. If you did, let's talk about why you did. There is no try because if you deal with something
But Keith,
that
if
makes you
we if
angry,
we if we have to be in the same spaces and we don't have a choice about being in that
give me an
space.
example of somewhere where you don't have a choice. And if you tell me work, you could always quit work. So give me a situation where you have no choice. See, because the
We
thing is,
either
you do have a choice. You may not like the choice, but give me an example of something that you have no choice.
I plead the fifth.
I bet you did. I bet you did. You know why? Because you
We
started thinking about it and realized there
no,
is no place where
no,
you don't have a choice.
because we're
Okay.
not going to discuss it in this format. But there have been situations where you don't have a choice at the moment but to be in the situation.
But again, the idea is that so you still don't have to say nothing then and can deal with it afterwards. Either way, something can be done. Everything can be dealt with. How you choose to deal with it is not different. If you're your parents' caregiver, and the thing again with that, Anika, is what they did to get you upset. Because is it something that they can control? And is it something that now is so ingrained in them because then you have to accept what you decided to do? Because believe it or not, even with that, you could make a choice. Now, it may be a real, I'm going to pardon my language, shitty choice, but you still can. There's always choices. The problem is the choice may hurt, and the choice may be very devastating. But the idea is that every human being, as long as you draw breath, has a choice. Doesn't mean that it's always going to be a favorable one. It's not going to be a pleasurable one. But to get to the point that anger is the result, no. Anger, I told you, anger is a secondary emotion. So if you deal with whatever before it gets to anger, then anger doesn't show up. See, we get so caught on anger that we literally want to react to the anger. Okay, but if we deal with whatever before, it never comes up. That's the reason why you don't let anger get to the wheel. Because what anger then causes is this right. I don't care. I said it because I meant it. Okay. But then
Yep.
the devastating part is what it may now do. And yes, because most of us have not been taught how to deal with it, how to deal with the triggers. We deal with the after effect. Most of us are reactionary, not proactionary, because we haven't been taught to be proactionary. because it's not the norm. Most of us are taught to react to. What did you say? React to, instead of saying, why did you say it? See, we deal with the what instead of the why. And that's hard because you also have to keep your feelings in check. And if you keep your feelings in check, see, the thing is, often if you can take, how many times do I tell you, take feelings off the table, now what you going to do? Most people can't do that because the anger is what fuels their motivation. I hate that bitch. I'm a killer. Calm your ass down. How'd it get here? She got the raise. Okay, then now we can talk. She got, okay, whatever it is. But if you deal with only the anger, it's a blind emotion. Deal with the triggers before. Because the things that you could hurt once you allow anger to get in that position, not everybody can say, hey, it is what it is. Then what? That's why you say, give me a minute. There you go. And I'm sorry I missed some of the things here. Let me go back, guys. Thank you, T to the Y. Listen, this is me and Tiff had these conversations all the time. Amy says, see, oh, you ain't got to love me. You ain't got to like me, Amy. It's okay. Somebody got to wear the black hat. I like when people don't like me. They leave you alone. Sorry, your lifestyle at home, you should have to work and deal with somebody you can't. Listen, I hated people that I taught with. But if the principal said, Keith, go work with so-and-so, I would say, do I have to? Yes, Keith, because you two are the only two who can do X, Y, and Z. You know I don't agree. You know I don't like him or her. I'm sorry, but you have to. Okay, I got two choices. Do it or quit the job. And if I'm not ready to quit the job, I swallow. Hey, Mr. Goldberg, you ready to get this work done? Let's go. And then once the work is done, go after yourself. I'm going back to my classroom. You go back to yours. Now, I could hate you, but if this is the job, this is it. But you always have an option. Because now, let's say they want me to work with a known racist or somebody who I clearly, that you know what, then fire me. I quit. Not happening. And I'll just deal with whatever. And Tiff can tell you because I've done that. I worked a job one time, one day. I was dishwasher at Friendly's on, and was it Freeport? Yeah, I think it was Freeport, not Freeport. It wasn't that far out. I worked one night and I asked the manager, is this what I got to do every day? This the amount of dishes I got to wash every day? He said, yes. I said, I quit. He said, you can't quit. I said, no, you don't want me to quit, but I quit and never went back because I knew it wasn't going to work. So there's no, and he got very upset and didn't want to pay me. Oh, you going to pay me for my one day? We ain't got to like it, just pay me. Because again, sometimes there's always a choice. You can get heated, Amy. It's okay. It's all right. I like people when people don't like me. I like to needle people like that. But anyway, guys, the end of the day, and the point that I'm getting at, don't avoid anger, but don't be driven by it. Don't avoid anger. If you're going to be angry, it's your emotion. You're legitimately allowed to be angry. Don't be driven by your anger, okay? You're human. People are going to say and do things that get you angry. But I think what Kim said earlier is very important. Give me a minute. Let me go take a walk. Call somebody. Tiff does it all the time. Hey, baby. What's the matter? Nothing. Okay, that lets me know she just needed to hear my voice because she's about to go in there and stab somebody with a pencil. And I'm like, you okay? And she's like, yeah, all right, I'll call you later. Or like the other day, well, I ain't gonna tell you what she texted me, but it'll be, I'm ready to just walk off the job. And I'll text back, no, you're not. Finish out your shift and we can talk. So the idea is have somebody that you can call, have somebody that you can text. And if you don't have those things available to you at that time, read The Art of War. Yes, very true. Because Sun Tzu gives a lot of great tips on how to get yourself together. And taking that time is very important. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Or just say to somebody, excuse me 1 second. Can I just walk off? I will consider evaluating how I respond to things. But seriously, thank you, Aj. I appreciate you guys. And listen, guys, I'm just saying it because this is something that I deal with on a regular because I deal with, I'm a crisis specialist, as I said to you. But what that means is I'm dealing with children who are suicidal. I'm dealing with children who are homicidal. And now that I've extended my practice, because I work with adults and I work with couples, I'm dealing with folks who are really in a bad place emotionally, and I have to learn how to get them past some of that emotion to be able to get to the healing. If I can't do that, then I'm stuck dancing around a second emotion and I can't get to the actual problem. So I've learned to control myself to be able to help me deal with somebody else. Michelle says, as a case manager at a domestic violence shelter, I had to deal with a lady we all know was racist, but my practical way I handled her was to do my job, but she better not catch a dark alley. I'm not mad at that. My grandmother used to say that. She used to have some racist cats in the nurse's home be like, you black bitcha. She said, you want your medicine, right?
You know, your grandmother, we were, it's so funny. We were having a talk one time, and it was about the job that I was on, and some of the tough time I was having, and
uh,
she explained to me because she had some tough times on her job as a nurse, and she said to me how one of her patients was a racist and spit in her face.
I
I
remember.
looked at your grandmother.
I would have been arrested.
I I don't know how your grandmother did it. God rest her soul, because she was a saint to allow somebody to spit in her face and not lose her job.
Let me tell you what's funny is now I know that's what my grandmother told you. If you don't think my grandmother gave him some lefts and some rights when she was cleaning, you know what I mean? let me tell you something about my grandmother, right? Now my grandmother ain't stupid. She ain't gonna come out and tell you what she did. But I know exactly what happened. When she got spit on, and I know my grandma, she went, okay, I know her. So then when it was time to get washed up, get this little rough ivory soap. And it was time to put some clothes on, get this elbow to the ribs. My grandmother she got her pint of blood. Trust me, you didn't spit on my grandmother and you didn't get nothing back. She just did it real cool not to bruise up no old person. But I know a couple times he's like, what you doing? So trust me when I tell you. Let's see. Terry said you should see someone to talk to as that. A lot of let me see. You should see someone to talk to. Also, that's a lot to carry dealing with problems with other people. Very true, Terry. And that's what I'm talking about, Terry. Is that's why if you don't have anyone, simply take that walk. Now, here's the great thing about social media that I think people underuse. We're on social media way more than we should be. That's another conversation for another night. But here's the thing that people underuse. When that happens, that's a great time to jump on social media and say, can you pray for me? Or, hey, just give me a good word. Tell me something good because and then tell the truth. I'm about to go in here and lose my job. Please tell me something. And all of a sudden you'll get a flood of messages that hold tight, girl. I'm praying, girl. Don't do it. Don't let it happen, girl. Don't let them get you. And the reason why that instant gratification to what you just asked may be enough for you to hold on to get to 5 o'clock. Hold on to get to the end of the day to punch out to the end of your shift. That's when, if you have your phone with you, throw it out there real quick, but be honest. Say, listen, I'm about to say something that I think is going to get me fired. Let people go ahead and pour into you. If you don't have anybody to call directly, it is better to call somebody directly because then they can literally say to you, hey, come on, calm down. You good. Let's talk about it later. I'm that person for Tiff. She's that person for me. There's times I will call her and I'm like, baby, I'm about to go in and slap about 17 people. And she's like, what happened? And I'm like, then I'll rattle off. She's like, I said, you know what? We'll talk about when we get home because I needed that and I'm good. Now I can go back and finish work. But we all need that. All right, let's go on to number 7. And don't worry about the time. It's at the 10:30. We're going to be here for a little while. We got 4 more. So let's go ahead. Let's go to number 7. Throw your 7s up. Hey, Keisha. Keisha popped in tonight. Look, Keisha. All right, let's go to number 7. And some of these we probably covered in a roundabout way. But throw your 7s up as we get ready to move on. I'm going to move on to number 7 here. All right, here we go. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the 7s. Here we go. Create a process for resolving problems without anger. Start by each of you taking 5 minutes to state your feelings, then take a 20-minute break to think about things and come back together to the table for another 10 minutes to discuss how you think. Now, see, that was written by Psychology Today. Let me be honest with you. Yes, have a process, I agree. But all this, take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, all that right there, take as much time as you need. That's too much time. Here's the thing. Take a couple of minutes, but here's what I would say. Agree to let your partner have their say, and in return, you have yours. And if y'all are not really ready to deal with what was put on the table, one of you has to say, look, you laid a lot on me just now. Can I have some time? Can we finish this in the morning? Now, here's the key. Your partner may not be able to hold on to it that long. You have to make a decision. That's why this right here, I hear everything that it's saying, I can't agree with it. And the reason why is every couple is different. You might be able to take that much time. Some people, it might have to be the minute that y'all agree to talk. Let's get right into it. You got to know yourself at this point. This one here, if that works for you, and I'm going to read it again because if it works for you, fine. Go ahead, Tiff. Let me read it and then you tell me what you're going to think, Tiff. Create a process for resolving problems without anger. Start by each of you taking 5 minutes to state your feelings, then take a 20-minute break to think about things and come back to the table for another 10 minutes to discuss how you think is the best way to deal with the problem. Go ahead, Tiff.
So what I was gonna say, because it reminds me of us, especially in the beginning of our relationship, because anytime that we had an issue, you wanted to talk about it like right away. For me, I wanted to allow the emotions to settle down before talking because, as I said, I know that if I get angry, if something comes out, it's not because I didn't mean it. It's because I meant it. And that's the thing. I don't want to hurt my husband's feelings. I don't want to hurt, especially people I care about. I don't want to hurt your feelings. So I would rather think about the best way to relay what I'm trying to say. Why are you laughing?
Because Kim said nope. I can't with Kim and Amy. Amy says, see, that's too much. It's wrong to say do all that argument. That would solve everything. No, Tiff is right. I had to learn, but here's the thing that I learned with Tiff also. I have to gauge. Like if I needle at her enough, I get enough to gauge if it's okay to leave her alone until whatever. Some things I have to needle at her to get it out that night so we could deal with it because Tiff will then tuck it away back in the closet and then we don't get to deal with it for another 6 months. So I've kind of learned how much the needle, and then what Tiff will do is, and this is what she does, which is very funny. I find it interesting. When she knows that I'm needling and she knows that I'm probing, if it's super serious, Tiff will go straight to bed, turn the lights off, put a CPAP machine on, and fake like she's sleeping. She ain't sleep, but she'll literally just lay there and go, now he's not going to talk to me. He's not going to talk to me with the CPAP on. And I'm like, so I'll come to the door and I'll be like, you sleep? And I'm like, okay, so I guess we're going to talk about this in the morning. It is a form of manipulation. And the only reason why, Kim, I can tell you that it is because Tiff had perfected, because of her, the way she came up with all the yelling and screaming and domestic violence that she was privy to. She shuts down and will allow things to store up until there's an explosion. It's very difficult to try to waver the storm in an explosion when some of it could be dealt with before it gets to that. Now, over time, Tiff is softened up and we will have a conversation after the initial, I'm going to go sit in my room and act like I'm really watching television, but I'm mad at him type foolishness. So I got to come in and sit down and be like, can we talk? But the idea is that you have to know your partner too. Yes, there's time. And let me tell you where Tiff has gotten better. Keith, not right now. Okay, see, that's different. Not right now, but with the harsh way that she might say it lets me know then it really is serious. Let me hold off. Before, Tiff wouldn't say anything. And again, it was because how she came up. Y'all don't know my grandmother. Y'all wasn't doing the silent treatment at her home. You going to talk about something around here. She wasn't going for it. That's how I was raised. So again, as you learn your partner, very important, guys. In the good times, this is when you talk about their past and about your past. Share as much as you can during the good times, which will help you when things start to get explosive. Because then you can go, you know what? She told me her father used to do that. She told me her mother used to do that. She told me her brother used to do that. She told me her sisters used to do that. She told me her family was. And that information is necessary when now you're trying to deal with something which is going to help prevent the argument from exploding. Remember, The goal is to not to let the argument mushroom and just have a nuclear explosion inside your home. Because at that point, everybody dies. At that point, everybody is just in a bad. Okay, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, everything just froze up. It's a T-Mobile thing I got. If you're back on, let me know. Put a Y in the chat room to let me know that we're back. I'm going to try to invite Tiff back. So I don't know what's going on here tonight. But if you can see me, let me know if you can see me. There we go. Let me just reset my computer here. Come on in and let me know what's going on. Because all of a sudden I got, I don't know what happened with my phone. T-Mobile, y'all. All right, let me see. All right, there we go. All right. I'm trying to get back on my my computer here. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, she coming. There she is. She coming back on, guys. There we go. Finished up these last three. I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden, that it just froze up on me.
I'm back.
There you go. You good? Oh, I don't see you. Where you at? Where you at?
You can't see? I'm right here.
I can't see you, but all right, I can't see
I can
you.
see you.
I can see me too. I don't know why I can't see. It's just T-Mobile tonight. I don't know what's going on. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what's happening here. I'm gonna bring you back. All right, I'm gonna bring you back on and see what happens. One of those nights, guys. One of those nights. That's how you know the show is live.
Yep.
All right. She is blacked out. Yeah, we can't see you. You blacked out, baby.
Really?
Nah, I can't see
I
you
can
either.
see me. All right, let me try to come back in.
All right, go ahead. So anyway, guys, why we're trying to figure out what's going on. I know we can't see Tiff. And I'm glad you guys are coming back over. Come on back over. We good. We're gonna knock out these last three because I hate to leave things undone. So I don't know where Tiff is at. But all right. So while we're waiting for Tiff to come back in, yeah, I know. We try to figure out where she at, Terry. All of a sudden, it ain't connecting. Let me try to bring her back in again. Let's see what this. Oh, she's not on. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to her computer. But okay, while Tiff is waiting to come back in, and I know everybody is trying to switch their way back over who might still be in the other group. And again, this is modern technology, guys. This is what it is. No way around that. But we're going to finish up these last three tonight. I want to make sure I get them in because I want everybody to have the whole list. So while we're trying to bring Tiff on, I'll rock with you guys until that time. So put an 8 in the chat room. Oh, I'll bring Tiff on. Let's see if we can bring one last time before we go forward. Let me see if I can bring Tiff on here. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I saw Kim post. I don't know where still black, Tiff.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So they're gonna have to hear you but not see you. I don't know what's going on with your phone. What's up? Turn your camera around and see, turn your camera around and see if it's just a connection or just I don't know with your camera. Because I can hear you, but I cannot.
Is it still black?
Yes, it is. So it's a Facebook thing. It ain't.
Because I can see me.
It's a Facebook. Yeah, I see. I can see you too. I mean, I can't see you. I can not see that you're on. I can hear you. So it says that you're in. Yeah, it's connected because we're talking. All right, so you're gonna have to be the phantom lady in the back. Let's finish these last three.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So y'all gonna have Tiff's voice. Y'all gonna get to see my pretty face. I know y'all tune in to see Tiff's nice, sexy wig, but I'm gonna get her to come on without the wig. I'm gonna be like, what? Yeah. All right, here we go. And everybody will start making their way over here soon. So we're gonna put another. We got 8. Nika put up an 8. We saw another 8. Don't hate a Nika. Ah, there we go. I'm not hating. I actually love her wig. She's her wig game is tight. All right, here we go. Number 8, guys. Let's. Oh, nah, Anita Baker. That's my. Oh my God, Rapture was the album. All right, here we go. Let's finish up these last 3, and I think it's gonna make. I think it's gonna make pretty good sense. And Tiff, you can always just throw it in the chat room too. if need be, so you can get your point across if for any reason we can't hear you or anything like that. Okay, number
Okay.
8. Abuse is never allowed. This includes verbal abuse, any type of violence, including slamming doors, breaking plates, or hitting. If your argument escalates to this level, you need to leave the house. If one partner ever hits another, a police report needs to be made. An appointment with a therapist is mandatory. Yes, 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 and yes. Because if you open that door and allow abuse to be okay, it will always escalate. Simple as that. Now, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
about calling the police, but I definitely say therapy, of course, because I'm a therapist. But I don't know if the police are necessary. But here's the thing. If he or she puts their hands on you, you really need to evaluate what's going on, because now it ain't about the relationship. It's about that person needing a whole lot of help. Because if y'all got to get the throwing hands, completely unacceptable. Exactly, Terry. And yes, Amy. Oh, hell no. Throwing hands is not an option. Yes. And I'm sorry. I don't care what it is. Walk away. Male or
Mm-hmm.
female, walk away. Walk away, gather yourself, and evaluate if this relationship is worth remaining. Anything can be fixed if your mindset is correct. But if it is something that you know you cannot fix, walk away. Do not place your hands on somebody, male or female. Don't do it. There is
Keep
no
your hands
process,
to
point,
yourself.
nothing. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I said keep your hands to yourself.
Exactly. Again, it is okay to be angry, but it is never okay to abuse anybody. Never okay. And it's just and the funny thing is, when I listen to people who try to justify abuse, well, he only yells at me when he's angry. He only hits me, because he loves me. She only hits me because she's frustrated. She only screams at me because she was upset. I get it. No, 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 no. All forms of abuse is still one thing: abuse. If you accept abuse when you clearly know it is, it will escalate. And the problem is, sometimes it can escalate so quickly that the next time may be the last time. No other way to put it. They hit until they. Oh, Kim, I can't. They hit until they get. They're caught up in that cycle. Yes, Michelle. And Kim said they hit until they get knocked out. They'll keep hitting until you knock them out. That's it, Kim. But no, we not offering up. We don't even need to let it get to that point. If they raise their hands to you, it is time to go. Do not, do not allow abuse to settle in. It does not. There's nothing there. There's nothing I can really add to that, guys. So I'm going to move on to number 9, because I just think now, as for the police, I'm gonna be honest with you. If they hit you, I can't say not to. I'm never going to tell you not to go to the police. Never going to say not to go to the police. Because if that's what it has to come down to it. If leaving is enough, fine. But that's something you have to decide. I'm never going to say you should definitely go to the police. But I'm just going to say it's an option. And that's an option that you have to decide based on how you were hit, when you were hit, whatever. Like, and I'm not going to say to somebody, don't go. I'm just going to say that may not be my first thing. But if you feel it's necessary, you got to do it. Thank you for the 9, Terry. I got it. Okay, so here we go. Last 2, guys. We're going to finish these last 2, knock these 2 out. I think Tiff did something to her phone to fake it so she can lay down. Y'all, she ain't
I
fooling nobody.
did not. And the funny thing is, I could see both of us on the screen like before.
So it's been something going on. I don't know. It might be my phone. It might just be the internet, because I have on.
I think it's Facebook.
Yeah, well, I'm on Facebook on the computer, and it doesn't even have you up on the computer. It just has me, but it says live. But I didn't press it because then I'll get the feedback. I don't want to do that. All right, number 9, guys. Here we go. Last 2, and I see the number 9s. She's done for the night. Talk to her, Amy. All right, here we go. Number 9. Thank you, Terry, for the number 9. Moving on, guys. Here we go. Don't engage. Remember that negative attention is still attention. If your partner tries to goad you into an argument, simply don't go there. Some people actually like to argue because it gives them temporary feeling of power and gratification. Avoid being sucked into their need for attention. Check this out. If you in a relationship with somebody who feeds off of arguments, why are you in a relationship with them?
Exactly. Who wants to
That's
argue?
that's
You know,
gotta
the thing
go ahead,
is,
man.
arguing makes me physically ill. Like
Yes.
arguing makes me like I want to throw up. It's not even funny because it might be from my traumatic experience as a child, but it physically makes me ill. So if you are someone that you need to argue, I'm not going to be in a relationship with you. That's crazy.
And I think it does have a lot to do with how you were raised, Tiff. But the idea is, at the end of the day, you got to know yourself. Terry says she not me. That's true. Kim said I agree. I believe in the 3-strike rule. But if you put your hands on me, don't eat anything. I'm cooking and don't sleep in my bed. That listen, I'm with and I'm with both of you guys. And Kim, I'm simply like this. If you with somebody who they need that type of negative energy, I need to check myself. It ain't even about them. Why am I with them? And I think a lot of times people have to really say to themselves, why are you in the relationship you're in? Now I'm not blaming victim. Never going to do that. But there is time that a victim has to take some responsibility if they are allowing themselves to be victims. I know some people are not going to want to hear that. Well, she didn't ask him to hit her. Well, she didn't verbally say it. But if you keep placing yourself in a position to get hit because you didn't address certain things, then the real question is why? Now, yes, some people say because I loved him or I loved her. That's why I let them do what they do to me. I understand that. Listen, that's the prelude to domestic violence. But then that means there's some things that you need help with too. And we got to be honest with ourselves. The only way to get better in all these situations that we have read tonight is that you have to be honest with the things that you cannot do, and you have to be honest with the things that are happening. And when you can do that, you can start to heal, fix, or get the hell up out of Dodge if it's necessary. But I don't believe in hitting. I was raised never to put my hands on a woman, and to this day, I have never struck a woman. Well, actually, I take that back. There was this chick in high school, but she was presenting like a dude. And so she was acting like a dude. And she tried to clown me like a dude when I was at Thomas Edison. So the two-piece showed her that she wasn't a dude. So I don't know if that really counts.
Oh,
Tiff?
stop it. Are you serious? Are
I'm
you
being very
serious?
serious. I'm being very serious. Okay, let me take it back. I only hit one woman in my life. And the crazy part was I was like a lot of these kids. I said, please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. She kept messing with me. She said something. I said, please leave me alone. And then what's funny is she tried to kick me in my behind as I was leaving English class. And she was like, that's right, sucker. I know what my
See,
mom I know what my mom and grandmother taught me. But once she put her foot to my behind,
I know this is another discussion because I actually had this discussion the other day. But
uh-huh.
my mom taught me if you hit, expect to get hit. If you don't want to get hit, keep your hands to yourself.
Wow.
So, man or woman, it doesn't matter. Keep
That's
your
it.
hands to
Kim,
yourself.
and Kim, I feel you. And you know what, Kim? Sometimes that's necessary. If he didn't learn and he kept doing it 3 times, oh yeah, you put him out. Let me tell you something. And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't proud of beating up a woman, but when I say presented as a man, I'll leave it at that. She presented like a man, tried to be everything that a man was, hung out with dudes, tried to be a bully. The only mistake that she made was she didn't know as an 11th grader that I was a ninth grade bully and I was a bully in junior high school. So when I came to Edison, I came in the 10th grade because I stayed in junior high school to the ninth grade. Yes, she kicked me. And the funny thing was because she thought because I didn't want to fight her, I was scared to fight her. Because this happened like a couple weeks in a row. She would like tease me about, and I would just be like, yo, just leave me alone. And she'd be like, whatever. And she didn't realize that I was raised in South Jamaica. I was not soft. It had been drummed into my head since I was a child. Do not hit girls. My mother and grandmother was like, I don't care what they do. And I mean, it was drummed into my head. So what's funny is I would get so angry. And what's crazy is I came home and I told my mother and grandma, I said, y'all told me don't hit no woman, and this girl keeps bothering me. Now my grandmother was like, beat that bitch's ass. My mother was like, don't do it. Just ignore her. And my grandmother said, you gonna raise that boy to be a, well, you know the words that old people use that you shouldn't use now, the F word. Yeah. So my grandma was like, listen, did you tell her don't touch you? I said, yes. She said, she keep touching you? I said, yes. She said, beat that. It was like Color Purple. Oh my gosh. It was worth the 3-day suspension too. I'm not even supposed to take joy in that. But
You are
yes.
not. I'm like, you're laughing about it. It's not funny, sir. It's not funny.
Woo, she wasn't ready for that 2 piece. And both landed securely.
Wait a minute, Kim. You said he slapped you because you didn't fix his plate.
Damn.
And they were watching to see how you would react. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Wait a minute. His family was watching to see how you would react to him slapping you.
Everybody gets poisoned that night. Everybody gets poisoned that night. You get some poison. You get some poison. Y'all get some poison. Everybody gets rat poison that night.
That is crazy. So his family didn't even step in when he slapped you?
It's okay. They would have stepped in at that funeral. They'd have been like, my God, 7 caskets? What happened here?
That is crazy.
Listen, we all got stories. I'm with you, Kim. Sometimes you got to listen. And a lot of what we talk about is fostered by family members, guys. If you really do a good self-evaluation, and I mean, I'm serious, I'm being very serious now. Many of us, if we do a self-evaluation, a lot of the hangups that we had came from our families. They was passed on. Whether we realize it or not, just do a self-evaluation of how your family does things. And they wanted to see how, oh my gosh. But and it's very, very important. All right, last one, guys. Last one in this 2-part thing tonight. Facebook is trying real hard to block our shine. Last one tonight. Let's put 10s up in the chat room. Let's go out strong. Let's discuss this last one if it needs to be discussed. But and Tiff, I think this goes with what you were talking about. So we're gonna go through that. I see a 10 from Terry. Who else is still with me tonight? I would take them all out. Bed-Stuy, do it. There you go. There you go. Listen, see, look, we got Bed-Stuy folks. You know you got Brownsville people in here. Lord. That's why she laid out. All right, here we go. Number 10. Listen to your body. When you are angry, your body releases chemicals that may cause you to react in ways that can be destructive to you, your partner, and it can be destructive to you, your partner, or your relationship. Learn to understand your feelings and how the process of anger affects you physically and emotionally. That's why you got sick, Tiff. Because of everything that you saw when you was a child, when you got angry, those endorphins that anger gives off triggered the violent reaction of being ill. Also headaches. Yes, Amy. Yes. Headache, yes. Upset stomach, hyperventilation, rapid heartbeat, urination. Some people even urinate on themselves, and even defecation. Not that I want to get nasty and go in that direction. Marcy Projects kicked in. Lord, we got all areas of Brooklyn covered. Woo, Lord. Lord. Marcy. Yeah, we got Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. Oh yeah, we got some women in here tonight, baby. But yes, a lot of bodily fluids can be kicked off, vomiting, headaches, rapid heart rate, sweating, of course, profuse sweating. You can even have problems breathing. Hyperventilation, yes, these are all things that can happen. So you have to pay attention to your body because people have had strokes from having arguments that allow the anger, the things to swell up to such a point that they literally have brain aneurysms. And so it is possible. Tearing, yes, crying, heavy crying too, Terry, because the tear ducts just start to lose themselves. So yes, all of that is very true. But listen to your bodies, guys. Learn that your body is trying to tell you this is not healthy. Leave it alone. And if it happens, and okay, it got away from you that one time, don't go back to the well. because the stress on your body, high blood pressure, your blood pressure goes up. You can have a heart attack, a stroke, all of that. Don't do it. When you start to feel that pressure here and behind your eyes, when you start to feel it here, bridge of your nose, all in here feels like an air bubble, like an airbag is going off behind your eyes. That's when you got to catch yourself. Panic attacks. Yes, Tiff goes through those at times too. And you really have to get a garner on that because it can be so unhealthy that it can kill you in the long run. Can kill you in the long run. I don't know what happened. Kim, you know what? This is the first time that we had this problem because when I was using the other platform, we would get in a good hour and every now and then it would freeze up. That's why I came to just doing this here. I would love to try to keep on Tiff. If I schedule Tiff for 2 hours, she's gonna say she's tired to go to bed early. So I tell her 1 hour, knowing we're gonna be on for a good hour and a half. So plus I let her do the show from bed, so she's good. I'm in the office, she's in bed. So as long as she gets to lay in bed, she's all right. We got her. But we used to do our show for 2 hours when we used to do our regular radio show. So we'll see. It all depends. Sometimes the subject matter doesn't carry for 2 hours, but normally we give a good hour, hour and a half, always an hour and a half on Friday. But there's your top 10, your 10 list, guys. 10 tips to help avoid ugly arguments. I think if you're going to circle anything, you have to circle anger, and you really have to pay attention to that. Now, with all of that said, you guys know that I'm a therapist, so if anybody needs to sit down and talk to me or anything like that, my information is always in the chat room. You can put it in, and I'll put it up, but you can always reach out. And let me tell you something, that's another thing that we're going to talk about, not tonight, but another night, is that folks of color have to learn that counseling is not a bad thing. And it is not taboo. It doesn't mean you're crazy. And we have to learn that talking to somebody is a great way to be able to help you deal with what you're dealing with. Talking to somebody who is a professional that can help you do what you do. Now, I just put my information in the chat room. You can save that. If I'm crying, it's because I can't get to you to do what I need to do. Oh no, I understand a lot of people that way, Kim. When they can't, I've seen people when they couldn't get their hit back or fight or whatever, they literally just get very emotional. It all depends on what your feelings are. But again, the reason why we do this, guys, is because I want you to understand is that there are things that we have to have a discussion about. We got to be able to talk about, and we got to be able to deal. Tiff and I really want to see everyone do well in their relationships. We are working on a course that is finally going to get done after all these years, the Making Marriage Cool Again course. It's actually going to be a cohort. It's going to cover a couple of weeks, but it's going to cover 12 or 13 different areas that Tiff and I have decided that are going to help make your marriage cool. And we're going to actually have a whole course, and we're going to let you folks know when it's ready to go. I'm finishing up. But again, we're here. Too much going on not to have help. Yes, Michelle. This is what we got to do, is that we have to be there for each other. We have to be able to let folks know. If you know, everybody's dealing with crisis right now with this COVID situation. If people need somebody to talk to, send them to me. All they got to do is tell me, say, hey, Michelle sent me, Kim sent me, Terry sent me, Amy sent me, Anika sent me, whatever. Let me know, and I got them. I'll take care of it. We good. So, guys, it is after 11. I want to say to you, as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming back as we lost the first spot. I don't know what happened, but it started off choppy today. So, well, now I have to find a husband. Make sure he's a former boxer, Kim, so he can roll with you. I'm buying headgear as the wedding gift. I'm buying a set of gloves and some headgear for your wedding, Kim, when you get remarried again. If you get remarried, we got you. And again, guys, and if anybody has any questions, and if there's any subjects that you think that you would like Tiff and I to cover on Friday, or you would like me to cover on Wednesday, please let me know. Now remember, Monday's going to be a replay day because I have some counseling that I have to do on Mondays. So I will not be doing a live show on Mondays. I just want to let you guys know that. But it will be a replay of either this Friday's show, or I'll choose another show to replay on Mondays. Monday will be a replay, so you'll get a chance to catch a show that you might have missed. We love you, baby. But I'll make sure I get you nice pink ones so when you duke it out with him, because he gonna need it. Yeah. Do you take him? He better. Yeah. So, but yeah, so Mondays is not a live show. Mondays is a replay show, and then we're live Wednesday and Friday. Tiff and I are together on Fridays, and we will be showing up. We're here for you. There'll be different contests coming up. Wow, how do you get unstuck from someone? That's interesting. We might have to play with that one. I might have to let me write that one down. We might have to play with that because what I might need, Kim, is how like what is causing you to be stuck, and then we could actually talk about that. But I'll look that up. I'll see if I can do some research on that. What comes up? I'll run that through the filter. Unstuck. Okay, got that. That's actually interesting. So again, guys, listen, that's it's not bad. I just got to figure out so I can give pointers. Because I like to be able to research it so I can give you guys something which gives us something to talk about. So that is something because there's a lot of folks in unhealthy relationships. So I guess when you say unstuck, Kim, are you talking about with somebody that you shouldn't be with, or just stuck because you just decided to give in and be with that person because you're settling? Which area are you coming from with that, Kim? So I have an idea how to do my research. Stuck meaning that you know they're no good, or settling. Well, I guess settling is the same thing, but just settling because it's like, all right, they here. That left-handed bowler from Jib, 40 years. Which left? You know what? You're gonna get me in trouble asking these questions. That left-handed bowler. I want to know who that one is. Can I shake this? You know what? I'm not gonna ask no names because I think if you say some names, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. Tiff, you still there?
I'm still here.
All right. So say goodnight to the people, or say your salutations.
Well, I thank you guys for hanging out with us even through the technical difficulties. And we appreciate you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will see you next week.
For not in my life first. First letter E. You know what? I think I know. I'm gonna leave that alone. I think I know you're talking about. Anyway, but guys, listen. I want to tell you thank you. And Kim, that's actually a good one, Kim. I'm gonna see what we can put together for next Friday. That might be something we can go with. And Michelle, I think you gave me one before too. I think I want to talk about too. I just gotta find. I know I wrote it down. I know you had gave me one some time back, and I want to go over that also. With that married woman that giggles. That's what I was
Now I want to
thinking.
know who she's talking about.
You're gonna have to privately hit Tiff in her inbox and tell who you're talking about Kim. But thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you. And Jamila didn't come on tonight, so I got to reach out to Jamila, let her know that she won a book, and let her know to pick out which book that she won. So again, guys, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with us through both the technical difficulties and everything. See you guys next week. Please be safe. Remember, there's a pandemic. God bless, guys. Take care.